And I am live. Here we go. See, it came up on the side. Looking good. Man, it's nice when everything is working well. I'm so very happy. On a very complicated, good, very complicated piece of software, interactive software works. Good. Let's see. Okay. Say hi to everybody. Getting coffee. Hey Yosemite, let me just grab DF Knock. How are you, Nathan? Yosemite Spirit. I love that name, Yosemite Spirit. What a everybody tells me Yosemite is a beautiful place. I'm gonna just grab a coffee real quick and I will be right back. Cindy Lopez, nice to see you. I was going to go live last night. I was just tired. I will be live later tonight on Rosie McNamara, doing a little bit of a trying out the hey Storm Dancer, trying out the excuse me, the Streamlabs on McNamara. Getting a little naughty tonight on there, maybe having a beer or two. Hey Mark Handler. And just having a general fun stream. Nice to see you, Mark. Talk about a few things today. Before I get up and get this coffee, and we talk about the Yuma. I know from my visit and the time that I spent in Yuma. So my travel plans, thoughts on gear, Streamlabs, good to go, and it's going to be an open chat. I need to really reaffirm my travel plans too. I don't want any crossover or misunderstanding with Elvis Travels. I know that he is live. Christina, how are you, sweetie? Hey, Classic. I know he is currently on the road with the video. I think the stream looks pretty good. How does the stream look? Pretty good? Give me a 77 if the stream is looking okay there. Getting a little warnings thing here. I don't know. I hate this damn Logitech. It looks okay to me. Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking at the output on the other side. It looks pretty good. I don't know what's going on with YouTube's is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming as such. Viewers will experience buffering. I don't know. It seems pretty good to me. Let me put this back up here. Put this here. How you doing? I'm going to say this again since I say it wrong. Jack A. Blue? How you doing, Hop Frog? Hello, Joe Smith. Nice to see you. Joe Smith, I always appreciate the comments that, thank you. I always thank you, Nathan. Love you, Nathan. I always appreciate the comments that you leave me, Joe Smith, but I think you have your comments turned off, so I'm unable to say thank you for the nice comments that you leave me on my videos. I really appreciate it, and I'm always super excited every time I see you on my streams or commenting on my videos. There's just certain people, Nathan's one of them, that you know, Mark Handler, who've been around so long and are such good friends. But I need to talk about the Yuma. I know, and I also need to be very clear about travel plans. I'm not building, as I said before, and I had you know, I have a lot of people messaging me and emailing me about my travel plans. You know, Elvis is on the road, blah blah blah. Hey Quinny, I don't build my life around that, as I'll talk about. So oh, okay, please check they're on. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a coffee. There's the ice cream guy. Good morning, Missy Jenn. I'm just microwave heating that up. You know, a lot of people that aren't familiar, and I'll tell you, I grew up on the East Coast, so I didn't have a lot of hey, Shimaj, I didn't have a lot of familiarity with the West Coast of California. I knew nothing about California, really. I mean, it seemed like another country. It seemed a million miles away. Growing up, it seemed like a place where kooky shit was always happening. The Mansons, blah blah blah, all that crazy ass stuff. Hollywood Hills, Uber Goober, how are you, beautiful? You know, Tinseltown and all that. So it was about the furthest thing. It was about the furthest thing that I could ever imagine in my mind in the U.S. Almost the antithesis of growing up on the East Coast in the Mid-Atlantic states. California was always something out there. But one thing people don't understand. People ask, number one, why do you get a lot of wildfires out in California? And number two, what is the climate like there? And it's very interesting. Number one, we get a lot of fires out here because it's the way that the weather sets up in the summertime. You'll have a real high pressure dome, they call that sits over the Humboldt Desert of Nevada. And since it causes like a counterclockwise rotation, it always brings air in from over the mainland. It doesn't bring in the ocean air out of here. As a result, you know, you get a marine layer that comes in and cools things off in the evening, but you don't get rain. Literally from like April 15th to December 1st, you don't get rain. You might have one or 2 days of a little bit of rain somewhere in that whole stretch. That's why things dry out so much here in California. How you doing, Bev? Number two is that the Sierra is the reason why, you know, it's 100 degrees in Yuma now, and you know, a couple hundred miles to the west, it's 64 degrees in San Diego, is because the Sierra Mountains block a lot of the cool air from moving over that way. They also block a lot of moisture. That's why Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, they're all dry, because the ocean influence isn't felt over there. So it's, you know, even though it's 100 in Yuma right now, where Marshall's rolling across the desert, the reality is 65 degrees in San Diego and delightful down there. Perfect weather climate down there. Superfly Lady says, is YouTube your only source of income? No, the 310 to Yuma. Hey, Beryl. Hey, Lee Marie. So that's why California is really heaven when it comes to climatological things, because San Diego rarely gets above 82 degrees in summertime. It rarely gets below 60 degrees, 65 degrees in wintertime. It's the ultimate beautiful, perfect, picture perfect climate out there. So that's the difference. I'm not sure. I mean, I did some hot driving, you know, as you come down from the Sierra Mountains, Joe Smith, to the Central Valley of California. And it was 10 degrees hotter than what Elvis is experiencing right now in the desert, 110 degrees. When I got down to the valley floor after coming down the Sierras, down the west side, it was 110 degrees on the valley floor. And when I got to Janet, the boss's house, to stop by and say hi, it was 107 degrees. So, you know, it does get very hot, and it gets dry, and this is why you have terrible fires in the fall, particularly when the Santa Ana, the Diablo winds come in. Hot Frog says, I live in the LA basin. Yeah, it's hard to shake the smog too, because you're kind of ringed in there. How you doing, Lisa? Hey, hippie, how are you? Nice to see you. So I did a video of my craft on Facebook. Okay, when I was doing my craft video yesterday. I'm sorry to hear that, Bev. I'm not on Facebook on there. How you doing, Sherry Russell? Nice to see you, honey. How you doing, sweetie pie? How you doing, Shay Shay? Is that the Shay Shay? How are you? So that's what I want to say about that. The weather is. That's why, even though. that distance, and somebody can tell me, well, I've lived here, Shamaj, I've lived here a long time. Hey, Veer. Somebody can tell me that distance between Yuma, Arizona and San Diego. I'm doing good, Shay Shay. I'm doing good. It looks like Nightbot's working. I'm going to talk about Nightbot in a little bit. I don't know. Nail. Georgie. George. What are you doing? Is that all yours? No. That big thing is mine? Woo! All right. Fan mail from Flounders. All right. Awesome sauce. Thank you. I got such wonderful subscribers on the channel. Oh, now was that UPS or was it huh? Okay, USPS, 172 miles from South Dakota to Yuma. But look at the difference in the temperature there. It's 100 degrees in Yuma right now, but it's 64 degrees in San Diego. All that nice cool air gets trapped down by the desert. I think my coffee's ready. I'm going to go grab that. All right. Georgie was very happy. 2 hours. Yeah, and I want to tell you the other thing, and I've said it, and I'm going to reiterate it before. I mean, I'm getting old. I want to reiterate it again. Vanessa, how you doing, sweetheart? Nice to see you. Hey, Goldie Con. I want to reiterate it. Jen, hi, sweetie. How are you? I want to reiterate it again. I went 7,636 miles with Jen all through the Midwest to the lower states, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Maryland, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico. And on that trip, let's see, Rosie, I hope I wasn't offensive when I told whoever was to shut up with such an ugly disgust, Cindy Lopez, I could care less what they say over there. The people that watch that chat, they say one thing, and then they're giving it all their support over there, watching it glued, window licking to the monitor there. That equals no life to me. Hey, Dawn, how are you? So that stuff never really bothers me. I don't need a wrench. I don't want a wrench. I don't like to be a wrench holder in chats. It goes with the territory. Act like 14-year-old kids. Hey, Joni. And I kind of, I'll be honest, I laugh along with it. Hey, Winky. I really do think a lot of the comments are funny and stuff. But at age 61 years old, I've got bigger fish to fry than that. That mouse toes. Thank you, Winky. Appreciate it. I'll never be stunning, but as long as I'm kind of held together with baling wire and chicken wire and Louisiana girl. I love Louisiana. But let me tell you guys, and I got to reiterate this again. There's a couple important points extremely, and this is directed at Elvis Travels. And I know that you'll watch this later today, and a lot of people will rewatch this video. You got to be very careful if and when you're able to get your teeth done in Yuma, Arizona. If you consider coming west, yeah, not bad for an old bat. Thanks, Ben. If you consider coming west those 200 or so miles to San Diego after having driven 7,636 miles plus 10,443 miles on my last trip, there's few RVers or van dwellers that have put the mileage on the road in the period of time that I have in America, being an urban van dweller, boondocker. But I can tell you this, there is no climb on that journey. I don't care whether it's I-70 over Colorado, okay? I don't care whether it's through Cheyenne, Wyoming, and a terrible weather vortex that sits there. I don't care whether it's Pikes Peak. Well, maybe it's equivalent to Pikes Peak. That climb going west, and I think it's on I-8, and you have to climb the Sierra Mountains at that point. This is why the weather's so radically different. This is why Arizona ain't California when it comes to weather, because these mountains are huge, they're formidable, they're high enough that they block the moisture coming off of the Pacific, and that climb is one of the worst. Well, I'm just going to put it out there. That is the worst climb in my travels that I've done here. Reason being is it's an unrelenting climb. Even climbing I-70 through Colorado, which I've done many, many times, the Sierras, Donner Pass in California, up over I-80, I've done that many times. But I can tell you there was nothing more horrifying than that climb from Yuma to San Diego, because Sierras has a few flat spots, I-70 has a few flat spots. But when you do that climb from Yuma to San Diego, you have these switchbacks that just go back and forth. There are no flat spots. And the road widens out because you'll see trucks that are overheated. You'll see trucks that have come down the other side. You look across with brakes on fire, flamed over on the other side. It's brutal. It's brutal. If anything is gonna kill that van, it's gonna be that climb to San Diego. So think very, very carefully about it. It's unavoidable. This is why California was a heartbreak for the pioneers, because it's unrelenting. No matter which way you try to come in, you're going to be coping with a mountain range to get over, and it's devastating. You'll see massive warnings on I-8. Turn off your air conditioners now. Avoid overheating. One of the last road systems, one of the last stretches of road in the United States that has water spigots so you can fill up jugs and things like that. It'll tell you watering hose ahead and stuff to do that. The Sierras are no joke. It's a very steep grade. But the thing that kills vehicles is it does not have any flat spots. It's a twisting, brutal road. And I was totally... How you doing, Michaela, sweetie? I was totally unprepared for that on the trip. I thought, oh, we just in Arizona. We'll just flat land it across to San Diego. Can't wait to see Tara. I got to Tara, and she's like, wow, you look white as a sheet. And remember, I had a van that was a year old at that time, and she said, you really look shook up. I said, man, you wouldn't believe what I just climbed over. She's like, oh yeah, I-8 coming from from the desert. It ain't no joke. My thought is that that's going to be a titanic struggle in the heat coming over there to get over that to get over that pass. Yeah, I've had to drive with the heater on too. I've had to have the heater on full blast, sweating my ass off going over there. There is no internal AC working because it's an R12 older system, Joe Smith, and it's not been converted over to the new refrigerant, plus it has a leak in it. Well, Dawn, there's nothing I can do. I mean, he wants to come into California, and that's fine. I mean, he would do well in Los Angeles. There's a big Middle Eastern population. There's El Cajon, which has, I think, the second biggest Assyrian population in the United States down there, which is supposed to be a very nice town. But that mountain, that climb is absolutely unforgiving, and he has basically zero experience climbing mountains. Although he did get his CDL and does have experience, did have some experience trucking that. So yes, nice to see Sherry. I miss seeing her around over here. So, people, would you help out? You know, if something happens to the van, will you look? I'm helping out anybody, but my top priority, number one, making sure Missy Jenn is in good shape here on the Rancho, and I reiterate again, and I'll reiterate right here again, Missy Jenn is welcome to travel anytime with me, anywhere. I would make first class accommodations with her, as I did on the 7,636 mile journey that we took across the United States. She did not spend one night in the van on that trip. Every night was in a hotel, and it was a great experience. I know how to take care of Missy Jenn, but Missy Jenn is a quiet person who enjoys her solitude. She does not like to be in the dramasphere. She likes being here on the Rancho, and all she ever has to do is just say the word, and she can go anywhere. She want to go to Honolulu, Hawaii, we'll go to Honolulu, Hawaii. She wants to go to Hong Kong. She can't endure those kind of journeys. Let's be real. You know, Joseph Kane down in Australia has been kind enough to invite us to go down to Western Australia, but that trip would literally probably be the undoing of Missy Jenn for possibly a month or so. She'd be twisted up like a pretzel with all of her muscles frozen. You really don't know what it's like to travel with her on a plane for an extended, you know, when we flew over to Florida in 2015. It's a lot to take care of. And she's a sweet, lovely gal. She ain't a small gal, so it's a lot to be responsible for on there. So, yeah, that's exactly right, Beth. But for her happiness is being quiet here on the Rancho with Georgie, and I applaud that for her, and I would do anything to make Missy Jenn happy. So let's be perfectly clear about that. Okay, she's always welcome to travel with me. On the other hand, Missy Jenn consistently tells me, hey Rosie, you know what? You worked 46 years. And although there's one renowned dumbbell on YouTube that quotes a Bible quote that says, you do not eat if you do not work. Well, let's see what that dumbbell thinks after he's worked 46 years. Let's see if he feels the same way about it at that point. I felt no shame retiring at 60 years old and now pursuing some part-time work through the Las Vegas Valley Medical Authority. I'm very happy to do that. I'm very happy to do that. But Missy Jenn tells me one thing: you go, you travel, you pursue your dream. Except for our long journey that we went on, that 7,636 mile journey. In all of the years that I worked, there was never a time that I took off more than 10 days at a time. Never been on a cruise, never did any of those kind of things, never went on a long road trip. Never ever in my life did I pursue that dream and just stop working and say, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to hit the road and I'm going to let the chips fall where they may. Why? Because I had responsibilities. And I took care and I met those responsibilities. So when I reached age 60, and especially in January of 2019, yes, I pushed myself up a little bit to a higher position and my wants and needs, figuring that I had about 10 years of good travel in me, and then, you know, probably buy a retirement place somewhere. Thank you very much, Uber Goober. I feel the same way about everything. So when people belittle you about, you know, traveling and having a PayPal link up and having the Streamlabs interactive thing, I feel happy about that. I feel happy that people can be a part of the stream. There's no gun to anybody's head. I feel excited that people participate. I think the Streamlabs text-to-speech interactive feature is one of the greatest things that you can have on YouTube, especially for live streaming. It engages people in the action, and it allows them to be part of the stream and have their voice heard, for better or worse. And it's something that I've worked very hard to set up, more than anything else, for the amusement aspect of it. Thank you very much, Kim C. Yeah, 46 times, 46 years is a long time to be working. So when some of these other chumps that are much younger reach that point, then I may give them an ear and listen to what they have to say. But at this point in time in my life, there ain't no way. What, did I hit the lottery or what? Why'd your tongue out? Is it that time again? What do we got there? Yeah, I know, Uber Goober, and that's not a solicitation. It's just the way I feel about, you know, the way I feel about the way some people try to shape the message on YouTube as if you're supposed to feel shame. Now, on the other side, and this is a coin that has many sides to it, there are those people that choose to throw caution to the wind, and mobile hobos, you know, young people that are traveling a lot younger than Elvis is, nomadic fanatic, these kind of people. Elvis travels. They decide to go all in at a young age, and they try to make YouTube a career, and they go out there and they pursue their dream at a young age. Now, there's something I think that bears a little more. There's something I believe that bears a little bit more scrutiny when you do that kind of thing. You know, if you ever have the expectation of having a family, if you ever have the expectation of being able to provide yourself in old age with a pension, if you ever expect to be able to take care of your teeth and have dental insurance or have medical insurance and go to an emergency room or an ER and not be left, not leave a trail of unpaid bills behind you, because you know what? At the end of the day, that really does crap on society. All right, because you know the bill's going to be paid somewhere, and the rest of us have to shoulder the load for that selfishness. The other thing that we know is that those things always blow apart eventually. Whether it's a medical issue on the road, whether it's God forbid an accident, or more likely some catastrophic mechanical breakdown that immediately and effectively just takes you out of the game forever. You can't recover from it. You don't have any reservoir of savings, and you may or may not have a reservoir of goodwill on platforms like YouTube. In other words, will people put up for that? Will people do that? Well, I can think in some extreme cases with some great content providers, people might do that. But unless you're a person on YouTube that pulls positive, it tries to be a positive person, tries to bring quality content to people, respects people on the chat, then effectively it's game over at that point. And what happens? You melt back into the workforce and you've lost a significant amount of years that may have been critical for paying into retirement, for possible promotions and advancements. And let's face the fact. Thank you, Andrew. And let's face this fact too. When I worked for 46 years, I kept my head pretty high. The reason being is I felt good that I wouldn't be judged by other people for being lazy. The furthest thing I've ever been in my life is lazy. I never missed a day of school. I never missed a day of my working career ever. And I say that with some pride. I'm lucky I have good genes. I've escaped health problems. But man, imagine how you kind of feel inside when you've either slid through life and maybe cheated your way onto disability or something like that, or maybe you just kind of wanted to grab the easy fruit of the payoff of a life of working, a working career, and you decided to grab the fruits that other people struggle years to get. Well, in those particular cases, we all know there's a certain mental burden that you carry in your head. And that mental burden is that you circumvented the basic rules of nature, of society, the basic needs of humanity that you have to provide for yourself. Yeah, there you go, Uber. You strike me as the kind of person that says, even worked while I was going through radiation and burnt to a crisp for it. Why? Because you have a good sense of self in your mind of who you are. And you and I, Uber Goober, we're of a different, I have to say it, honey, we are literally of a different, hey Chris, we're of a different generation. I see a social media generation today where the coin of the realm is social media and likes and subs and influencers. When you and I grew up, it was just the morning and evening paper and 3 channels on TV, and that was it. And we explored the great outdoors. We went outside. We opened our eyes. Our heads weren't down like this on a cell phone. We were out looking at the world. We made up our own minds about shit. We looked at the world around us. And we were able to start to draw conclusions. We were able to become reasonable human beings. We could look at the state of the world, and we didn't need to consult a Google to tell us certain things. We learned how to do shit. If we needed to go from point A to point B and we weren't familiar, well, we looked it up on a map. We knew how to open up a map book, a Thompson's Street Guide, something like that. Today, we're taking all of the work out of what it is to develop the mind, and I'm very afraid that we're losing our ability to be creative as a species too, because we're not forced to think for ourselves. We don't know how to inductively reason and things like that anymore. Well, I'm just saying, it's the philosopher in me. I majored in philosophy in college, and people would sometimes laugh and say, what are you going to do with the philosophy degree? Well, I can tell you one thing. The philosophy degree teaches you how to think critically in life and how to really think things on a secondary, tertiary level and beyond. So that's my thoughts on that. Yeah, we liked meeting, exactly. We liked meeting each other. You go into a bar, and this is the most jolting thing today, and I hear so many people on social media, oh, it's so hard to find somebody these days because you're connected with cyberspace with people. You go into aloha, Colleen, you go into a bar these days, and there's so many people. You look at the bar, it's quiet in some bars these days, and everybody's got their head down. You see a beautiful girl, some beautiful girls, some beautiful guys, maybe standing around a bar in their little group, and they don't even look up from their phones to see that. Yeah, my mother did too. So when I see people that you choose to live that sort of van life, I put it on them. The people like Nomadic Fanatic that want to try to travel and make a go of it. Hey man, you're pursuing your dream. See, this is the beauty of America, and it's also the horror of America. And from the time, hey Matt, from the time I spent in China, I have to tell you, the Chinese society is very misunderstood for the most part in America. But there was something very good about the Chinese system, and it was the way that society was ordered, and it's an orderliness in Chinese society that comes from thousands of years of being driven into their brains. Number one, of course, is the reverence of the elderly. The expectation is when a Chinese person grows up, they have kids, that their kids will take care of them till their dying breath, and for the most part, it's true. So they never have to worry about their futures and things. Number two, in communist China, if you don't produce, if you're not productive, plain and simple, you don't eat. There is no social safety net to pull people out. There is a basic fine little floor of disability, but you almost have to have both arms hanging off of you. They will find something for you to do. In China, so these days you have a society that I think has some more pride in itself, and pride in its productivity. So this is all my way of saying, in our great country, people can pursue their dream, the pursuit of happiness, like I started talking about 2 years ago. But I'll tell you, it does have consequences to it. And when you try to grab that elusive fruit of self-fulfillment, retirement, having some funds to finally enjoy your life, if you try to grab that early, I think there's some underlying thing in your mind that kind of nags at you, and you may feel you have the views, you may feel you have the audience, but in your head, you have that nagging suspicion that you're kind of gaming the system, and you'll never feel yourself on the same self-worth level as somebody that's gone out there and pursued it. Put the time on the rock pile, despite the fact that people say, oh, you're suckers, you're corporate slaves, you're blah, blah, blah. You're working for the man, you're ham and eggers. Well, I'll tell you, there's something kind of soul satisfying when you look around the home and you look around your life at the things that you're able to accumulate, the potential value you're able to pass on to family and other things. That's a pretty good feeling. That's the legacy. That's the legacy from working. Chris says, I missed out on so much for 30 years working. Yeah, that's the way I am. When I came to the point of finally reaching my retirement and being able to have my time being on my own, I said, I'm not going to have anybody tell me what to do, who to associate with, where to go, what to do. If I want to do something that I want to do, I pursue it. Rancho Rashid Mac, how are you? Yeah, they're going to be hurting units. In Uber Goober, it's you know what Uber Goober says? When these people that circumvent the system, when they get older and they can't travel or get sick, then that bad realization, that horrific realization comes that while everybody else in your age group, not everybody, but the majority of people in your age group are out being able to travel and maybe have one nice meal a day and be able to see the sights, not do everything you want. I mean, there's many times on the trips I wanted to be able to go and see, to go into museums and things, or to go visit these historic homes. But then you look at the sign there, $12 to look at the Hemingway house, $25 to go into this museum. We all got to draw the line somewhere. Yeah, I'd like to, but, okay? But when these people get to that age and look back, that's what I call the age of regret, because they're living their lives opposite of what's going on around them with people of their own age group. And it's a very, very, very sad thing to witness. The really most sad thing is we know it's going to happen. We know it's inevitable that things happen. Yep, Goldie Khan, some of the elderly will tell you that they wish they traveled. Yep. Yeah, that's what Colleen says. I'm proud of my kids if they know what working means and have a strong work ethic. It also means being a non-selfish person. If you go into a situation where you're go into a hospital per se, and hospitals have to treat you whether you come in with any insurance or not. They have to provide a basic level of service for you. And whether they like it or not, they hope they get paid, but you know how much stuff that goes into hospitals ends up on being written off and taking deductions, or being billed out through what they call, point of service Medicaid and things like that, where you can generate a you can generate a temporary Medicaid coverage for somebody. Well, who pays the bill for that? It's just another thing. It's just another thing that's thrown on the pile of the taxpayer. So it's a slap in the face to everybody to have to cover that. That's my big beef for that, is freedom isn't free. Your freedom, and I've reiterated this to Elvis and other people, your freedom costs other people in society in ways that you'll never know, and in ways that you'll never appreciate. So you see somebody like Marshall that can reach the point and say, Jesus, I wish we lived in a communist or socialist country. To him, that means that you can pursue your dream relentlessly and not worry about the cost, because all of society is forced to bear that. Well, having spent 5 years in the heart of a very communist nation and witnessing the transition from state communism to open market and the beginning of open economies, I can tell you this: anybody that would wish that on themselves is nuts. Because my definition, if somebody asks me, what's the definition of communism?
Is this sub working?
It's working, Cobra John. It is. It is definitely working. Thank you, Cobra John. Oh my goodness. When it works, there's nothing like it. Thank you, Cobra John. Oh man. Well, I tell everybody here, in my definition, for me, having majored in philosophy and political science, I finally came to the conclusion that communism equals equal misery for all. And that's what it is. It takes a little bit, John, but it always works. Thank you, Cobra John. You're the best. That's really funny. The real test will be out in the field with the mobile. But today's nice. Thank you, Cobra John. I just wanted to test it out. I don't feel, when I'm out making content, I feel better about, taking you guys places and getting a tip. But I want to tell you what. This is how we get the socialist disease in our countries. This is how we get the turn to communism, because the demands for being productive in life weigh heavily on the lazy. And they don't want to participate in that, and they dream of a world where they can live under a shade tree and read poetry all day without having a care in the world. Well, that might have been Karl Marx's ultimate outcome in the Communist Manifesto, but it doesn't work for society. I always said before, hey Allison, imagine if doctors felt the same way. I'm just bugging out, to hell with it. Some of them do these days. Or dentists, don't fuck your teeth. I'm taking off. It's dog farts time, or other people just decided, road workers, the government, we don't need to fill these potholes. Fuck it. Suppose society, we all adopted that attitude, and just decided we're going to just do what the hell we want to do, and we're not going to take responsibility or any feeling for other people in society. Well, this is what I hope to explain today, is that your freedom, society has to bear the price for your freedom when you've not been a productive entity in society. Having said that, and that's all I wanted to say, yeah, they will regret it. That's the thing I try to pound in the head continuously. Hey, I'm all about pursuing your dream. I'm not going to be the person in the side chats that's glued to the chat with their tongue out, licking the window, watching mile after mile go down and tearing somebody down on the road. Hey, man, there's, they're digging their own, you know what I mean? A smart thinker realizes and is able to inductively infer down the road what's going to happen. The lightheaded thinkers are only able to look at today. Okay, that's the difference between it all. That's the difference between it all. You know it. Colleen knows it. Quinny knows it. My worst haters may or may not know it, but everything comes to an ultimate conclusion in life. So somebody like me, I feel like, hey, I can lend a hand once in a while, I can be helpful, but let me tell you, you know what's coming down the road. And that's something that nobody can help you with that day. Nobody. And I don't care whether you're nomadic, fanatic, also the rules of the game. How you doing? How you doing, Missy Jenn? Thank you to my new subscriber. Thank you. Well, that's what I'm saying, Shay. You almost get a minor pass for that. I'm astounded when, people his age group have no sense of geography, have no sense of history, have this idea that the America we know today will always be the America. Well, it's not. It's stopping being that America now. It's stopping being that America now because we've been infested with this idea that we don't all have to be productive now. We can just pursue our dreams and fuck society. What's that on your chin? Oh, I smacked myself in the shop. I was doing a punch, trying to punch something out, and I smacked myself in the chin, looking down, trying to lift up this chisel thing, and I hit myself under my chin there. So that's why I say, Patricia Miller, that's why I don't hang on, I don't berate people, I don't get involved in all that stuff. They'll talk about other people prolonging things by helping out. Hey, I believe in helping your neighbor no matter what. But when you're there giving support and you're giving viewership, you're doing much more to enable on a daily basis that activity. So I reiterate again, I would help anybody. Anybody that came to the Rancho, anybody that needed help, anybody on the road. Elvis is a friend of mine. Would I help him if he was in a pinch? Of course I could. And of course I would. But there's certain things. It's one thing to build a generator box. It's another thing to say, hey, I lost my whole drivetrain on the Lisa Marie. Well, man, you better call the scrapyard, haul it in, man, and see if you can avoid paying to get it towed off the road. I mean, that's going to happen. I don't really get frustrated because I look at things in the short term. There's certain things that I enjoy doing, and if I enjoy doing it, I'll do it. But there's certain things I'm not financially capable of doing. And I would never pursue something like that. Labor, hey, I don't care about my labor. That's fun. Restoring a van, I love restoration. I like doing that kind of stuff. I don't mind that. But as far as the 24 karat gold thing that's coming down the road, well, that's a different story. To me, that's the end of the line. You know what, Colleen? You worked in that. You don't have to apologize to anybody for anything. And I know you're not. I'm just saying, that I know what you're about. I knew you were about. I was probably the first person that came across you when you came across me. I know what you're about. Enabling in any way not giving another capable of earning their own keep. Hello, Harvey. I got your messages. I just think for the interim, Harvey, I'm just going to keep things the way they are with the wrenches. If things change in the future, then I'll let you know. But at this current time, I just like the current configuration. It works well. You know, we had close to 400 people on the chat the other night. I had 3 mods in there, and they had things beautifully under control on there. I think it took a while to get this core. I really like it. I love you, Harvey, but I just want to keep things here at the current time. I don't ever want you to be in a position where you're fighting with the side chat or fighting with another moderator on here. I don't want to have that tension and that pressure put on you. You know, I don't think you deserve that. I don't think you need that kind of pressure. So it's just, yeah, I got mouse toes and other, but they're so, I don't know what the word is, battle proven. They're so adept at handling a chat between Oda May and Kim C and Jen and Mouse Toes and the other ones. Missy Jenn's not here too often, but they're outstanding. They know. Yeah, told Colleen, get in the game. Look at you now. They're outstanding. Hey, smell my finger. And they're not, as I've reiterated before, I don't really much care what people say about me. It's really their job is to protect other people on the side chat from being doxxed out and harmed on the chat. God love you, Cheryl. Nice to see you. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Yuma, Arizona. I know because I've been down there. I've been down to Yuma, but I'm not. I was down in Yuma in March of 2017. But I'll give you a couple heads up. Tom Tompkins, I used to watch over a year ago. Used to have panels. No, Tom Tompkins. I don't really do panels anymore. I found over time on YouTube is one of the first people that started doing live hangouts back in taking over for Drury in 2015. That hangouts and panels inevitably become sources for eventual blow-ups and horrors in social media. And in 2019, I made the decision at that point not to really be involved, and I might still do one once in a while on a Rosie McNamara channel. But I kind of made the decision not to do them anymore because I saw, you know, that today's red team is tomorrow's blue team. And they just become a source of friction, and people talk about green rooms, and there's sometimes plotting. How you doing, Jen? Yeah, I had full panels. I enjoyed it, Quinny. I had a good time. But it's inevitable over time that egos start to enlarge, and you know, people start to get ideas, people get drunk, and it wasn't fun anymore for me. It wasn't, so I happily just started doing less and less until January. I decided, you know what, I'm retired now. I'm going to be able to be on the road. I can have, I can have nice size audiences no matter what time of day or night that I go live, and I'm very happy. And I've got wonderful friends. How you doing, JK? But I will once in a while have panels. Tonight I'm going to have an open chat on Rosie McNamara. It will be an adult rated restricted hangout, so I put that out there. And good, and I mean we've seen it, Quinny. We've seen how ugly panels fall apart, you know, and they usually fall apart about things like money and things like donation and talking about e-begging and donations and tipping and things like that. And you can already see that certain fissures are already developing in the community now with maybe some people that were dead set against e-begging and collecting money on YouTube, and now they themselves have reached that position, which I defend their right to be, and I fully support their right to be. But there'll always be people that have different ideas about things. But as for me, I just wanted to kind of move away from that because my focus was more about travels and trips and all that kind of stuff. How you doing, Simon? Yeah, don't miss. Yeah, we'll have just an open chat tonight. It won't be a panel, but it'll be open chat. We'll have a little bit of adult fun on a Thursday night. But I want to tell you this: you go into Yuma, you better watch your ass going into Yuma. All right, and I've told this to Marshall on the phone. If you go in there with the attitude of racial superiority, if you go in there with the attitude that you're looking down and you have a condescending attitude to what you see, because this is a different kind of world than you're used to. This ain't Chicago, brother. This ain't Detroit. This is people, this is a significant Native American population that has literally struggled to carve a life out in places like Yuma, Arizona. And these people have a lot of pride. There ain't no Indian casino out there. Okay? These are people that are living a very hard scrabble life. They have their own police force. They have their own judicial system. You're not used to that. You're not used to tribal law. Okay? It's a world unto itself. Don't call the local sheriff in Arizona, the county. He'll tell you, well, you're right there where you need to be, son. Standing in front of that judicial magistrate. Yeah, they'll be fair. But if they ever, yeah, they're proud. And if they ever cop the idea, if they ever get an inkling, if somebody ever sent them something, or if they ever got an inkling that there was some feeling of racial superiority, cultural superiority, it's going to be late tonight, Lee Marie, or something like that. They're not going to mess around with you. These are people that carry years of angst with them. They have years of feeling being treated unfairly. And they're going to be remarkably fair. And they're going to be remarkably honest. But there's going to be a core of people. And it's typically the younger people that have about zero tolerance for bullshit out there when they see it. Yuma's a beautiful town. It's a weird town. It's all set on craggy hills and things overlooking the Colorado River. I've done videos of our trip of Yuma. You can just put Yuma in the search box. You can see the beautiful Indian Mission Catholic Church that sits up on the hill. These people, hey 60s, these people won't mess around.
This is the most eerie, spooky place.
It's an eerie, it's a spooky place. And it's going to be worse because it's August in Yuma and nobody with half a brain is in Yuma, Arizona in summertime down there unless you live there.
Really
The atmosphere is weird. The atmosphere is charged with...
I've never been in a place like that before my whole life.
Yeah. If you mouth off, if they get an inkling, if you even utter something on a live stream walking around, I'm telling you, word will get around. And you'll have a very unhappy and a very unpleasant stay in Yuma, Arizona. I was unprepared for the town and unprepared for the realities of a very localized tribal police force. And remember, when you go over the border to Yuma, Arizona, unless you want to walk to 10 miles from Yuma to the border crossing over there in 115-degree heat, you'll probably die before you get halfway there. You're going to have to park your van on a piece of Indian land there and pay your $5 or $10 to park there. And you're going to have to walk across the border into Algodones. Those people will be keeping an eye on your van in the parking lot. And they will do that with a lot of fidelity. They have golf carts they run around. They keep an eye on stuff. But I'll tell you, don't think that word doesn't travel fast in a town that's going to be 1/10 of the size that it is in wintertime when people are flooding over and the snowbirders are all there. We are all equal. We are all equal. Stand before God one day and tell him that you're better than somebody else. See how that plays in Peoria. Well, Andrew, Andrew Scott, it's not what I would do. but I support anybody's right to pursue what they want to do out there. Foolhardy, yeah. But desperation, yes. When I was in Chicago, and I'm not going to dwell on Elvis, the tooth situation was agonizing for him. He'd be standing there trying to work floss, and hey, it's not of my making. I took care of my teeth. I still have all of my original teeth except 2 wisdom teeth were pulled. That's a pretty nice thing to say at age 61. Yeah, I got a hillbilly gap, but that's it. But sometimes desperation just drives people to pain, and desperation drives people to take care of Jen for me. Well, I'm just saying, Cindy Lopez. I put it out there on the phone to him purposely. I just said you cannot just have that air of cultural superiority and things like that. And if you're, I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm just gonna put it out there. Vicky, that boat already sailed, honey. How you doing, Ms. Bailey? That already sailed. What's ultimately going to happen is he's just going to need, I don't know. See, in the United States, if you do a consultation, you're probably going to get a pretty honest evaluation. In Mexico, I don't want to say anything negative, but the demand for money, the competitive nature of Los Algodondes with the 300 or so medical facilities there, the competition is fierce. How do you compete? Well, if you get somebody in there, you make good coin on them, okay? In the United States, I think you'd get a thorough evaluation. I think any competent dentist would look at that and honestly tell you whether extraction was your only route to saving. In Mexico, I can't be so sure. I can't be so sure that no matter what rotted state the teeth are in, you may hit the wrong dentist that says, oh, I can put crowns on everything, no worries at all. You get some Gorilla Glue, you pop a crown on top of that rotten thing down below, and in 3 weeks your crowns have popped off, and that's it. So that's all. It's yeah, I just don't know how it's all going to play out, Colleen. But that's the Yuma. I know that Missy Jenn, were all the places that we travel in the United States, we were most on our toes about watching ourselves in Yuma, Arizona, because it's a crazy land. It's an absolute crazy land where California, Arizona, and Mexico all come together at one point on the Colorado River. And there's fierce rivalries, there's bike gangs that run around there. It's crazy land on the streets of Yuma. Maybe not so much now at this time of year, but it is crazy land down there. There's bikers that roll around. I mean, if, I had a video camera running and a guy starts coming towards me in his bike like he was going to flatten me over, and then had a few choice words for me. It's like, okay, man, I get the message. All right. I don't want to say it's a hostile town, but it's, it's a hard scrabble town down there. Okay. So you got to be very, 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 very careful down there. I mean, we had a motel room and there were just bikers all night long, just roaring up and down the streets. There's not a lot to recommend. The only thing I can say about Yuma is that's where half of the winter vegetables of the United States come out of there, and probably half of the E. coli too. It comes out there. Well, you just hope that things are. Do you travel with knives? I don't carry a knife with me. No, I don't. But then again, I'm not a chef. And I don't play one on there, so I'm not a chef, right? Yeah, I don't mess. Yeah, I'm just saying there's all kinds of bad shit that can teeth. You got to address teeth stuff. It can be, Simon. It can also, if you're a Chamber of Commerce person and you read the Yuma website, it's a nice, welcoming community with a historic downtown. Missy Jenn and I had a wonderful pizza in Yuma. Yeah, I don't worry about you, Bev. You're fine, but just be careful because people are very culturally sensitive in Yuma. You know, I mean, people know where they live. I mean, you don't think people know living in broken down trailers and just scraping by on Bureau of Indian Affairs, uh, monies that they might receive. You don't think people have a sense of themselves. This is the people that you have to be you have to dig deep, and you shouldn't even have to dig deep. You should respect everybody that's, when they're out there and they're doing their thing and they're living on their land. Well, maybe he doesn't care about cultural history because he never took cultural history. There's a lot of very uneducated people out there in the world today. Okay, so that's the Yuma I know. And hopefully he will. I know he will watch this later today. He rewatches all of my streams and things, so he'll get the hint. Hey, Sister Earth, nice to see you. My travel plans, having all the drama and kerfluffle over with everything that went on with Streaming House and all that. I would imagine now that that's going to subside and people will now go on their merry way. I was able to confirm with Dee that we will be, I'm not sure my earliest plan, but on the 18th of August, I will be in Las Vegas. Yes, it will be super hot. It will be super hot, but I will be prepared with full hydration and everything like that. We will have a good time. And if anybody wants to have a meetup down there, if anybody wants to be doing chooching, if anybody has any ideas of places that they'd like to see us go, I mean, free is always good. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have a lot of money to throw at cultural attractions and go to places like Battle Zone, Las Vegas, and pay $150 for 15 minutes of shoot 'em up. That's not, I have to be more circumspect. But if there's a place you'd like to see us go, a neighborhood that you would like to choose, we are committed to doing more down on the Strip. We didn't do a lot of that last time. That's where we met up with our good friend Rashid Mack down there, Vegas. Rashid Mack. We'll have a lot of fun down there. And we're two people that are very mutually supportive of each other. As I said before, that's one of the things, the advantages of being older is you don't have that spirit of competitiveness that you do when you're younger. And as I've always said and Dee affirmed and other people have stated, I like people to succeed. I'm happy when people succeed. I look at Colleen Aloha, and I told her months ago, go for the gold, honey, do it. And she did it, and she's doing her thing on YouTube. Have you heard about the underground house? It's so cool. Maybe I'll check that out. I do hope to catch another Elvis wedding. They are a lot of fun to catch them live. People love to do that. I love looking at the old wedding chapels. I love going down to Naked City down there and those kind of chooches. They are great. Now, so we've reaffirmed that. I'm not sure if we have fishing next Thursday, and then Friday the Boston Janet will be leaving. They'll be here Wednesday night, I think, overnighting into Thursday. We'll be off early, up at 3 a.m. on the fishing boat and out. I'm not going to do a lot of video this time. I have many fishing trip videos up. And then I may, on Friday afternoon, I may take off for Reno. I don't know. Everybody from San Francisco heads up to Lake Tahoe on Friday afternoon, and it's one big parking lot the whole way from San Francisco all the way halfway up the mountains. It's a parking lot, so it might be late at night. I can't wait till Janet meets Elbow in person. Yeah, people act if someone's success is somehow taken something from them, or the competitive nature of of things, you know, and it's like if somebody's getting more donations and that, I'm happy for them. You know, I'm genuinely happy for them. We should all be grateful for anything we get or nothing that we get. Just being here on the streams and watching and participating, 95% of the people are never going to tip a dime. And the expectation is that they don't have to, you know, and there's 5% of the people that are going to feel motivated because of content or need or whatever. They're going to step up and do something. That's a normal way. You're providing entertainment. You know, anybody that says you shouldn't have that up has no ability to differentiate between providing entertainment or just sitting there in front of not providing entertainment, but going out on the road. Everyone should be grateful. That's right, Ms. Bailey. Yeah, I'd like to meet you too, Bev. And there's Colleen. I was just mentioning you. So Colleen came in. She made a mark. Am I unhappy at Colleen's? You know, some nights let's face it. Elvis and me are usually the topic du jour, but that's the way it goes. I respect Colleen's right to have her opinion. But I'm also very happy that she's achieved a measure of success here on YouTube, and I'm thrilled for that. You know, genuinely happy for her. Might not always like the message, but I do like the person. And if you can, it's like I've always said to Kitten Cat, and there won't be a day when I'm blocking you off of my chat, and that's the bottom line. You know, so gratitude is the key to a happy life. The gear, I'm getting my gear together now. That's in pretty good shape. The most important thing to me now is the Streamlabs is real good. I doubt, I think I have a very high degree of confidence now in my Streamlabs operation. It's critical for me that the text-to-speech be working out when I'm chooching in the field. Not just because of an occasional tip, but because if you do, then you get to interact and we can hear your messages. And some messages are funny as hell. Some are scary as hell. But imagine a live stream where maybe I'm at the Oasis Motel room 20, which I do not want to do. I do not want to spend the night there. But then have text-to-speech on all night so people are shooting in messages and stuff like that all through the night. It makes it a lot more fun. It's a lot more interactive. You know, for me, it's an important component of what I do. I'm the one that brought IRL streaming, real life streaming to the Boyd. And I'm the one that's taking it up to make it sure it's to the next level with the maximum of enjoyment. Yeah, it should, Goldie Con. I don't get involved in slinging hate. I leave that to the other people. The keyboard warriors that hide behind their anonymity and never, absolutely, Cheryl. You know, their lack of courage speaks volumes about them. Let's see. Yeah, I love Missouri. So I think I'm in pretty good shape with everything that has to be done. As I say, oh shit, Mikhail, I'm not booting you off my channel, honey. We met in person. Yeah, I'll leave that to Kitten Cat. Even Kitten Cat's not a hater. You know, I hate to say that. That's gonna strip one of the stripes off Kitten Cat. There's no way that Kitten Cat's a hater. There's no way. I think Kitten Cat goes to sleep at night and feels like, I did what I wanted to do, but at the end of the day, I didn't really, you know, hurt. You know, there's a lot of hurt that gets dished out on this platform behind the scenes, a lot of stuff we never talk about, and a lot of other shit that goes on. Okay, it's coming to the point now where things are getting a lot better. Police departments are more cooperative. YouTube is much more cooperative than it used to be. And that's really been the greatest thing over 5 years, is seeing as social media stuff gets more out of hand and people get more wired and start taking bigger swats at people. The police and sheriffs, as I've said before, they've advanced this on their agenda. So this wasting of police resources and bullying and harassment and things like that are finally coming to the fore in this country, and that's a good thing. You know, there's some people that still have the mistaken belief that their anonymity is protected because they go on to some stupid browser that claims it's detective proof for who you really are. Everything leaves a trail. Google knows everything about everybody, and they're happy to turn that stuff over to law enforcement authorities. And I know there's certain people that have allegedly left a community that are still pulling a lot of crap in this community. And all I can say to them is your day's going to come, and your day's going to come hard in here, and that's all I'm going to say. That's funny, Andrew Scott. Okay, I'm not a threatening person, but I am also, as somebody else said, a counter puncher too. All right, that's it, 60s flower child. That's it. I'm here to have fun and travel, to be friendly with who I want to be friendly with. And if it bothers you a lot, then close out, unsubscribe, and don't watch. That's the way it is. I mean, I got moderators that would like to take my head and smack it up against the wall once in a while. I get that. You know. So we don't know what turns life is going to bring. Is Marshall, and here's the other thing I want to say about travel plans. As I've reiterated before, because every day I wake up, because he goes on to a live stream and starts talking about what's going to be and what's going to be on the Rancho and all that. If I'm not on the Rancho, you're not on the Rancho. Okay? There ain't no way with Missy Jenn here that you're coming on the Rancho with her. Okay? If I'm here, it's a different story. She ain't a maid. She ain't a cook. She's a person that works. Put two and two together. She's a person that takes care of her own stuff. She's not one to mollycoddle somebody and draw them to her ample bosom and say, hey, let me take care of you for a week or two. Yay, she might put down a nice welcome to the Rancho feed on the table or something like that. But we're not here to be a country club. It ain't no country club place here. The Rancho. Okay? So what I'm saying is my travel plans are pretty much fixed what I want to do now. And it may be at such time, yes, I will be in San Diego in sometime in September. But then I'm back to the Rancho, and then I want to be in San Diego for basically after Missy Jenn's infusion is done in October. I want to be back in San Diego for the beautiful month of October. Then things are a different story. Now, that doesn't mean that you or anybody else can't come up in the interim. Just recognize the realities of it, that you're best served if you ever plan on coming up and you ever had an idea in your head about a van rebuild or something like that. The best time is, after October. I'm not going to take away from my travel time. Yeah, you'd be welcome to boondock in San Diego and hang out all you want. Lots of stuff to see, sights to do. LA, San Diego, Imperial Beach. All those places, Julian, all kinds of good stuff. Okay, yeah, Missy Jenn's tough. You don't see a lot of it but she lays down a little bit too about what she wants to see. Okay, so that's it. Just want to put that out there and be perfectly clear. So that means maybe you have to boondock in Scottsdale. I don't even mind coming over to Flagstaff or whatever, hanging out. I've never been there before. But as far as the Rancho is concerned, that's a different story. Okay. Well, I have to be perfectly clear. I don't want any illusions. I worked my 60 years. I worked my 47 years to get where I am. I'll be damned if I'm going to upset it. Your priorities, I said before, is like number 4 or 5 for me. 3, 4, or 5. Okay, to be determined. Are we friends? Yes. Am I interested in helping you? Yes. But, as far as money and things like that, no. As far as labor, yes. But I don't know, by the time they drain you in Yuma, there probably won't be much left but the shell at that point in time. I'm not sure. I don't mind, Vicky. I don't care. I've had line screw come here. I've had other RVers that did not want to be announced that have plugged in, even pulled their travel trailers and fifth wheels into here, okay? I welcome the place to anybody that wants to stop by, but I don't welcome it to people that are haters and stalkers, people like that. Thank you, smell my finger. Yeah, I take care of myself. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. We go places. Yeah, Flagstaff is expensive. California is expensive. It's like when you cross over that wretched mountain from Yuma, Arizona to San Diego, say hello to $3.50 gasoline prices, okay? Because you're in California special blend country. You can't just truck in gas from anywhere else in the nation. California has its own little hoity-toity blend. It's expensive as hell. I don't have the wherewithal, Vicky. I don't have the wherewithal, but it's not my problem. He's welcome, but as far as, you got to be self-supporting here. You know, you got to be self-supporting. Okay? And I'm not here soon as the holidays are over. I'm probably off to Honolulu or Hong Kong at that point in time. Great time to be in Hong Kong in January. I think I will be gone to Hong Kong in January. Very low on the tourist season, so it might be nice to take you guys to a real foreign country. Oh, yeah. How you doing, Julie? So, yeah, it'd be a good time. So either that or Honolulu. I would really like to take Missy Jenn to Honolulu. I have to think very carefully about the length of the flight, though. So he doesn't know what a rainstorm and hydroplaning is. 60s flower child. You better grow a bigger set of balls if you want to go through a storm in Wyoming, man. I mean, you want to talk about that? Hydroplaning. That's really tough. Okay. I would never say that anybody knows Mikhail. This is why the fake Rosie O'Kelly show up on other streams. People immediately know it's not me. People click on it, they go to channel, they see it's not me, or they see what the person posts and they know it's not real. That's good. Todd and I love to travel like you. There you go, Bev. Thank you. So I just want to put it out there loud and clear to him that once again, it's my schedule. What's going to happen is you're going to finish in Algodondes, you're going to retreat up to Flagstaff or Prescott, Arizona, and you're going to probably run out your welcome real fast up there. So then you'll be over in San Diego, and you'll probably be in boondocking hell, you know, over there. So that's the reality. I mean, it's like you can stay at the Siquan Casino, which is 10 miles east of San Diego on the Indian Casino there, but otherwise, you know, San Diego cops, they know what the gig is, man. They know what's going on. They know they want people in those $200, $300 a night hotels in San Diego. Okay, they don't want people in RVs out there. For me, it ain't no problem. I got Little Rascal, just looks like a work van. I can sit that on any business's parking lot. I can sit that on any 24-hour place. And they're just going to assume it's just a work van. That's all it's going to be. And ain't nobody ever going to... You don't have to be afraid of Nightbot. I got Nightbot beautifully trained, don't I? Yeah. I mean, I can boondock anywhere. And I will prove that when I get down to San Diego. I'll be bumming around Pacific Beach, having me a good time. No problem, Kitten Cat. No problem at all. We just have much more history here than these newcomers that have come over in the last year. I saw Jacqueline wearing a push-up bra. It must have been a mirage, huh? That's why there's a more long-standing friendship born out of 2015. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, you take care. I'm going to be on the Rosie McNamara. If you're not all about, adult stuff, then just stay clear. Just steer clear. That's it. You don't have to watch. I'll just have fun. I'll have a beer or two. Test out the interactive Streamlabs, which is working fantastically now. I think it's going to be good. It's going to be for my mods, and they're going to have their day in Las Vegas. It's going to be fantastic. Oh. Nope, we're not cooking tonight, Vicky. I'm just going to be sitting right here and just talking to the chat. That's all. It's not going to be a space girl. It's just going to be a space Dorito. That's all. I don't have the inclination. I don't have the, the put on the big show. That'll be for the future. But I'm very happy. And if you've not subscribed to that channel, please do. It's gotten a lot of growth out of that channel. It's well over 700 subs in a very short period of time. So I'm anticipating by Christmas it'll be over 1,000 or so subs, and I'll be able. Well, I can already live. It's not consequential anymore. If you're good with Streamlabs, you're good to go. You don't need to get things done. I met Norm, Kitten Cat. And he was just a nice guy. I can't speak into personalities and things like that. Yeah, it's not. I don't want to overstate it. I'm just testing out my Streamlabs on the McNamara channel tonight. That's all. Yeah, sticky tape to keep the Dorito in place. There we go. Goldie, you're a hoot, honey. Don't forget, in rapping, I'm going to be in San Diego. If there's something you'd like to see us do, or a challenge to do down there, a place that you would like us to go to and explore, let us know. I don't want to go out to Red Rock. I don't want to go out to Red Rock Canyon, climbing mountains. I'm talking within the urban confines of the city of Las Vegas, in Clark County, Nevada. So that's what I'm saying, within those confines. Well, I don't think we have a lot of needy people, Kitten Cat. I mean, as you know, people were lonely. People seek. People want to have people. I'm a person that does not do well alone. Oh, hey, forever friend. No, I'm back from my travels, sweetie. I'm a person that loves the company of people. Hey, Nicole, how you doing, sweetie? I'm a person that loves the company of people. It's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to, might be doing the RTR. Line Screws talking about a mid-October meetup in Las Vegas, which would be great. That would probably be my next time down there. I could go to Zach Bagan's Haunted Museum, but you cannot video in there. So what's the point? I'm doing good. No, I don't look. I look unhappy. I'm as happy as I could ever be. I'm old, Nicole. Let's see. Love the company of people, intelligent and just. I love all people. I love all people. Yeah, I don't like being alone. I love to interact with, love to meet people. Yeah, I don't want to go into a haunted museum. I don't like spooks and ghosts, and I don't like all that haunted stuff. I don't want to touch any Eastern European Jewish voodoo dolls that have cost people their lives and all this. I don't want to be associated with that stuff. Thank you, Bev. Hey, Papa Grizz, how you doing, sweetie? Yeah, you love it. I can't stand it. I don't like to be spooked. I don't like to go into graveyards. I don't like to do any of that stuff. It freaked me out when we were there last time, and we had Sandy Callie's Graveyard Challenge. In the first grave, I put the light on. It says Tucker, and I'm like, oh, Jesus, this was just when Tucker was going through his heart surgery, and I'm like, oh, man, this is why I hate graveyards and stuff. And, it was a nice picture, but I didn't want, with a name, I didn't use it as a thumbnail. I didn't want to have it. I just burned the picture. It was freaky. I didn't like that at all. I don't like that stuff. I don't like to fiddle with the occult. I don't like any of that nonsense. I'll spend the night in a haunted house, but I won't go where there's a lot of artifacts and things like that. Plus Plus in Las Vegas, the graveyards they're just overflowing with black widows and stuff. I'm off, going to be meeting Dee up in Las Vegas, forever friend, on the 18th. I may leave on Friday very late in the evening and get to Reno, and then go down the hot side of the Sierras there, from Reno down the eastern slope of the Sierras all the way down through Goldfield, maybe some of the ghost towns and something like that. I'm a little worried about being out in that desert though. Yeah, I'm afraid of all that stuff. Liberace Museum. We'll probably chooch around some more interesting neighborhoods. Get to some of the downtown. See if we can get a pop-up block party going. They're always fun. It's a little hard in the evening because a lot of people are in air conditioning and all that. Yay. Yeah, so I don't think it'd be a lot of fun down there. You know, the support I get will be appreciated on that. And I'm sure on the part of D too. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and pop off of the chat stream. I'm sorry it's not a drama stream. I'm sorry I'm not tearing up about all the drama and everything. But that's just the way I like it. All right, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And enjoy and be safe if you're on vacation. And kids, sorry. It's almost back to school time. Wah!